video is on accruals and prepayments. So accruals and prepayments. So we want to just start with one of them first of all, which is accruals. How do you treat accruals if they are under your adjustments? So basically, when it comes to accruals, let's start with accruals first. When it comes to accruals, the rule states that any accrual on an expense, let's start with accruals on expenses first so that you can follow this through. Any accruals on expenses are added to the particular expense that they are talking about. For example, they will tell you that electricity was owing. That's an example. Owings, accruals, it's one and the same thing. They just interchange that word. So all accruals, the rule is that we should what? Add them to the expenses that they are actually referring to. So we add them in the income statement, IS, to the expense they are referring to. Then in the balance sheet, they also appear as well. If there was an accrual in your adjustment, take them to all these places first of all. In the balance sheet under what? Current liabilities. I'll just abbreviate as CAO. Remember that treatment for all accruals. Yeah. Then what else do you need to know? There are what they call, okay, those are accrual expenses like electricity is an expense, rent, all sorts of expenses, lighting and heat, all those basically are treated like this in this format. So what do you take in the balance sheet? They will give you the same accrual figure. For example, they'll say, okay, electricity was owing by 300. First of all, you go and add the 300 to the electricity, which is already in the trial balance there. Thereafter, you will take it under this same 300 that was owing is the same one that you record in the current liability, not the total of what you've added in the trial balance and this one. No, what we usually take is the adjustment itself. We'll take it to the balance sheet. That's the rule, if anything. So is that true that we follow that adjustments are even treated twice? It's been obeyed here. We might have what they call prepayment expenses, expenses that are prepaid. What do we know that of some expenses that could be prepaid? Even rent. Prepaid expenses. How do you treat them? So for prepaid expenses, rule number one, we always subtract. I'll say less. We always subtract them where? In the income statement. So that same adjustment, that would be okay. Rent was prepaid, maybe 400 in the adjustments. They tell you that. What do? You always less that figure in the adjustments from what you find in the trial balance. That's the rule when treating prepayments. Thereafter, where next do you take that adjustment? All prepayments are taken where under current assets, or just say current assets, CA, okay, in the balance sheet. So the BS balance sheet. So remember these few steps, because when you're handling such expenses, this is how basically we treat them, and there's no usually any other trick around them. Yeah, and that's basically the treatment.